It is the WIP Afternoon Show with Ike, Spike, and Fritz. Eliot Shorr-Parks joins us. Tuesdays with Eliot. Eliot, are you terrified with the rain outside? We know how you and rain.
I know. Well, it's been a while since I've got water in my basement, so I'm doing better. But yeah, it's never fun to see.
Yeah. Never fun.
Everyone used to laugh when I said I was afraid of rain. Then you get water in your basement one time, and no one laughs anymore.
No, yes, it's horrible.
It's the worst. It's a helpless feeling.
It really is.
Tell me about it.
Oh, weather. Yeah. Let me tell you.
Yeah, weather. How about the weather?
Yeah.
So, did you happen to hear at the beginning of the show? And
I heard a little bit. Seems like you had quite the opinion here.
Well, I was comparing Jalen and Ben Simmons, acknowledging the differences. I think Jalen is made of something different than Ben is, but seeing sort of similarities in things that they could do for the team that, because of their past success, they maybe don't think that they need to address. Throwing the ball over the middle, running the ball, bad relationships within the locker room, coaches getting blamed for that sort of inability to do those things, and that sometimes if you don't address those things, the world sort of closes in around you, and it becomes very, very difficult to move forward without and also. When we talk about Jalen and his abilities right now, what always gets thrown out is, well, he was Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah. And
with Ben, it was always, well, he's a 3-time All-Star. What do you know? So
little different.
Well, it is.
Yeah. No, I get your point.
But one is excellence over 3 years. It would be ignorant to say that Ben wasn't a good player.
Well, I think Ben's
point.
time with the Sixers has aged well, but that's a debate for a different day.
Yeah.
So I think when comparing the two, a couple things I would agree with and disagree with. First, I think a similarity is maybe they both have been successful their whole life. Like Ben obviously didn't pan out as an NBA player long term, but he was the number one, one of the top recruits coming out of high school, number one pick in the NBA draft, all-star rookie of the year. So I do think he had a belief of what I do works, right? Like not that he's completely closed to advice, but what he has done in his life to have success has worked for him. I think there is an element to that an element of that with Jalen. Jalen has had success in every single stop of his football career, right? Goes to Alabama, goes to Oklahoma, almost wins the Heisman, not drafted super high, but comes to the Eagles, wins the job, goes, we all know his resume. So I think sometimes when there's Jalen doesn't listen to anybody. I mean, I don't know if he doesn't listen to anybody to the point where he's like shutting ideas away, but I also understand why Jalen would want to continue to do things the way that has worked for him. So I think that is a similarity. A difference, I would say, because the 3-point shot, I'd imagine, is probably something that came up.
So I compared the 3-point shot to throwing over the middle. So just to show the difference, I know that Ben wouldn't have been a great 3-point shooter. However, if he had shot corner threes, probably could have helped the team.
Yeah.
And I thought his reluctance to doing it was more out of, I don't want to be shown as somebody who fails at this.
I agree with that with Ben.
And it ended up handcuffing him. And I think some of the throw over the middle thing, because you see him see the receiver, and he always thinks twice about it until it's too late. So I compared those two.
My thoughts on that would be, one, I do think there is a difference, and I get the premise of what you're saying, but I think there is a difference between literally no threes and Jalen only throwing over the middle and running sometimes. Like, there is an extremeness to the no threes that is very different than, only 10% of his throws are over the middle, or he's running it less than this year than past year. So I think that is one difference. But also, again, like, Jalen is having success the way he is playing. I know it is not always perfect, and I think they walk a closer line than they would need to if Jalen would play at a higher level. But if I'm Jalen, I don't know if I see a ton of reason to change the way I play. Even though he's not playing well, and I don't think he's having a good year, and I think he's, the number one reason the offense is struggling, right? But if I'm Jalen...
There's no way you believe that.
I do believe that. But if I'm Jalen, I don't know if like Nick and Patullo and all these people can convince me to change my game when I just won the Super Bowl. I'm 8-4. I'm protecting the ball works. Like, at least we can stop with all the, throw one more interception. Like, they've lost a turnover battle the last 2 weeks and they've lost both games.
Well, yeah, but that sort of falls apart when you look at how they turn the ball over. They turn the ball over and the tush-push, not a
But
risk.
it doesn't matter how they did it.
Sure it does.
No, it doesn't.
No, here's why it does.
Why?
Because the plays that he is turning down can score points. See, you never acknowledge that and the truth is that a lot of turnovers, it evens out. The Saquon play was not what he fumbled, not a risky play. The tush push, not a risky play. The interception that he threw, not a risky play, just a bad throw. So you equating the turnover thing with risk is wrong. There's an upside to every risk that you take, and the upside is scoring more points, is keeping the defense off the field, it's keeping drives alive. The idea that you can just not turn the ball over, like Alex Smith didn't turn the ball over, and they ended up replacing him. There are quarterbacks who don't turn the ball over who also are not.
Look, turnovers are going to happen. I'm not saying, like Jalen's the best quarterback in the NFL because he doesn't turn the ball over. The point I'm making is if I'm Jalen and I'm going to the playoffs every year and I'm winning games by prioritizing the turnovers, I can see why he would not be super interested in, well, you should throw over the middle more when that is the riskiest part of the field to throw the ball. And I'm not saying every throw, like there are throws against Chicago where Jalen is in the pocket. AJ is wide open over the middle. I think a problem against Chicago was, and maybe this is a year-long problem and it's becoming worse with the line, I think Jalen is way more sensitive to pressure this year in the pocket than he has been in the past. I think now at the first hint of pressure, he's dropping his eyes, he's ducking, and he's rolling out. And I thought there were some plays against Chicago where the pressure started to come, and I know it's easy for me to say, but it looked to me like he could have stepped up in the pocket or just stayed where he was and gotten the ball out over the middle. And I think because of pressure all year, he's not doing that, where I think he's been better at that in the past. But back to the turnover thing, I guess what I'm trying to say is that Jalen has had a career that a lot of quarterbacks would kill for. And so when we're sitting here and saying he should run more or do this or that, I understand his hesitancy in changing how he does things because how he's done things has worked.
That's true, but looking forward, again...
But that's the difference with Ben. What Ben was doing worked to an extent, but he didn't have anywhere near the success that Jalen had.
Well, that's true, but also, let's say Ben, at one point, let's say Embiid went nuclear. Won playoffs. They won a championship with Ben playing the way that he played. I don't think that's an affirmation of Ben playing the way that he played. I think it is, look, you were in the right situation 1 year. Again, I'm talking about the future, and I agree with you. I could, if I'm Jalen, I could look at everything that I did. Mm-hmm. But what I would present to him is, okay, but that's done now, right? So we're talking about the future. And this whole thing where you're saying he's seeing guys wide open over the middle, that's not turnover stuff. I agree with you on that. That is the world sort of closing in on him and him having a hard time making those decisions because of the situation that he's in.
So I agree with that. Now, I think the over-the-middle stuff, the examples I'm using from Chicago, I think are more pressure-related than being risk-averse. I think there are times this year where I have, in my opinion, I've seen him double-clutch and not want to get rid of it because of maybe he's not fully knowing what he's seeing or he feels like there are those moments. I just thought against Chicago, it wasn't a risk-averse thing. It was the pressure is coming in on him, and I don't think he's doing a good job dealing with it. Like, you, honestly, were one of the first people to highlight this last year, like his sack rate. Like, he doesn't actually deal with pressure that well. I think he can make plays that makes the offensive line look better and makes the offensive line look worse. Like, for all the blaming of the offensive line, Jalen also saves the offensive line quite a bit, right? Like, I know the offensive linemen probably don't love how long he holds onto the ball. He throws off timing. It makes them look like they're giving off pressure. But there's also lots of times where pressure comes clean and Jalen rolls out and, maybe it's not a successful play, but it's not like a 7-yard sack.
See, the thing I would say with this is that's the way he's always played, though. Like, he's never been a guy who stands in the pocket.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah.
He doesn't really step up in the pocket and make throws. He's usually escaping to his right or left.
Well, and this is where the running thing becomes an issue. Mm-hmm. Because if you're not going to run, and he doesn't want to, it seems, I don't see any reason for Kemsky and McClain to have those reports if they're not true. Because if the coaches wanted to run, they would just, and he was agreeable to it, they would just do it. There's no reason to leak to those guys that he doesn't want to do it unless he doesn't want to do it.
Yeah, so I don't have the information they have, to be clear. This is their report. My read on it would just be, maybe at the beginning of the year, it was like, Jalen, I don't want to run as much. I don't want to get hurt. Like, we can move the ball without me running. Now, I'd imagine everyone's like, all right, let's try it. And now maybe, because it's not working, it feels like, frankly, more finger pointing, where it's like, why aren't you running the ball? Like, he won't run, right? Like, I would be.
And who says that about their quarterback?
Yeah, like, I would personally be surprised if they are asking Jalen to run the ball and he's going no.
Yeah, who says
to me,
that
this
about
sounds
their
more like a plan that hasn't gone well. It's just my read on it. Like the over the middle thing, I would agree. That's Jalen. Like Jalen doesn't like to do it. He's run the ball a ton in his career. That's not like the Ben 3-pointer. Do you see what I'm saying?
He runs, and you got to give him the benefit of doubt of seeing what's out there on the field. He tends to take off when his man coverage and the defense has their back to him. He does a great job of running then. There's also times where there's a spy there that we don't recognize it as a spy, and he does. So he's not, unless it's to pick up a first down or to get in the end zone, I think he's just more selective when he decides to run.
But I also think a difference is, I agree with what you're saying. That to me is a little more when the play, like when he sees the coverage, the guys are running back. I think the called runs is a little different than that, and they're not doing as many called runs.
Nor should they.
I would just be surprised if Jalen's saying flat out no. That's just my read on it. That's not, I know their report, but do we really think Jalen's in the meeting room going, I will not run the ball? I would just be very surprised.
There's one quarterback in this, well, two. The other was just young and dumb. And we watched him last night.
Jackson Dart.
And he will never change. Like my advice to the Giants, I don't know, man. Once you have that in you, I think it's hard.
Nah, he'll change.
I mean, Carson never changed.
All quarterbacks change as they get older running the ball because they don't want to get injured anymore. Josh Allen is the only quarterback I see in this league that embraces running in their offense as a part of their offense. No one else does that I could think of.
Yeah.
No other quarterback is doing that. They are worth too much money. And when you become an injury-prone quarterback, that's an excuse for the team not to want to pay you. Dak used to run an awful lot.
Until he broke his ankle.
Yeah.
Well, he also became a great thrower.
But the point is he still doesn't run as much.
I agree, but this is the... I agree. I understand the injury thing.
Yeah, that's real.
I understand from a personal, from him making a personal choice.
Yes.
I'm just thinking about the football team. And the difference to me is between him and Dak. Yes, Dak did stop running, but Dak
he's a better passer.
Yeah,
yes,
he
I agree with
4,500 yards.
Yeah, I agree with that. But my point is that quarterbacks that run, Lamar Jackson doesn't run as much. Patrick Mahomes don't run like he used to run early in his career. I'm just telling you, they don't do that because if you're a $50 to $60 million player and you're a quarterback, your health is your biggest asset being out there on the field. It's being out there on the field. And if I'm Jalen, and if I'm just being honest, this year, the stuff that's coming out about me, you want me to put my body on the line so y'all can get rid of me when I'm injury prone or don't want to give me a contract extension this offseason. So I'm not going to be as willing to put my body on the line. Five stopped running when he started getting injured. Donovan was a runner too as well. Early in his career. And then he stopped running as much when he had a torn ACL, he had a growing injury,
broken ankle.
Broken ankle, like
he had the abdomen
you
thing.
Just stopped.
You
just stopped doing it. And I think that's just where Jalen is at now.
Yeah, I think that could be part of it. I just
part of it.
I view the over the middle passing, the routes they run and stuff as more tailored to Jalen than I guess I do. I mean, he still runs the ball. He's not doing it as much. And I would guess in the game, not nearly as much. I would guess in like the playoffs and stuff, you will see them do it.
Of course he will, because that's when it's more important.
Right.
Did he get injured? The last 3 times he's been injured, how did it happen?
I mean, I remember that there was a Chicago game.
Quick memory, it was on quarterback design runs.
Yeah. There was a Chicago game last year. I'm trying to think when he got hurt.
When he got hurt in Washington.
That was a design run? Okay, yeah.
That was a design run.
Yeah. All right. I guess I'm agreeing with you like halfway about the Ben thing.
No, it's fine. I don't need you to agree fully. I think conceptually, what is going through my head when I think about it
and the biggest problem with this offense is the offensive line, and we can't run the ball.
Yes.
Jalen's not the biggest problem with this offense.
So I would
Stop it. He's not the biggest problem.
I disagree.
With this offense.
I mean, Jalen is the most important player on offense. He controls where the ball goes. Like, I agree the offensive line's not played great.
It's a running offense that can't run.
Yes, but it's only a running offense because they can't pass it. That's the reason it has to be running offense is because they can't pass it consistently, and that falls on Jalen, unless we think it falls on the receivers, which I don't.
When they've had their most success as a team, they've been a run-first oriented football team.
I agree, but why do you think they're a run-first team this year? It's because they can't pass it.
They're always
they're trying.
I don't even know if are they a run-first team this year? I don't know that.
But I'm saying the idea that there have to be a run-first team is because they can't pass it now. Last year, I could get down with it. I defended Jalen. He did what it took to win, third down, no turnovers. This year, they can't run the ball, and they can't pass it well enough, and that falls on Jalen.
Yeah, okay. My point is that the biggest issue with this team is that they can't run the football. What we're asking for is a different formula for success. I'm not saying it's not fair to ask for it, but to expect it when there's been no history of it. When this team was a pass-first team in 2023, he turned the ball over at an alarming rate.
I agree.
But
that's the point I'm making, is the formula as a run-first team is only because they can't pass it. That's why they came up with that formula.
No, it's not that they can't pass it. It's that they're not a pass-first team because there are shortcomings with him as the quarterback. Yes, there's nothing wrong with admitting that. But the point is that their formula for success has always been running first.
But the point I'm making is that's the only. That was not what they designed the formula.
They went to two Super Bowls.
They weren't a run-first team 2022. They were a pass-first team.
They led the league in rushing.
Right, but they threw it a ton that year in 2022.
He also ran 165 times.
No, I know, but I'm saying they threw the ball. They threw the ball a ton in 2022.
Yeah, you know we're going to get the numbers.
If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I'm saying
he threw for like 3,200 yards.
Right, but Jalen was in the MVP discussion that year. Like they're
because, like Spike just said, the running aspect of his game is well. It wasn't because of his passing.
So I view it that a little differently. Like, that's not running the ball with the running back. I get your point, but they were more of a passing team in 2022 than they were in 23 and 24.
All right, so you're going to lose this one, Eliot.
That's fine.
As far as pass percentage in 2022, they were 29th in the NFL.
But they also won a lot of games that were big.
But stop.
I'm just being
no,
honest.
you got to take the L on
No,
that.
I'm willing to take an L, but I'm saying they were way more of a passing team in 22 than they were in 24. Like,
yes, but 22.
But that's what I'm saying. But in 24, they signed Saquon and went run first midway through the season because they couldn't throw it. Like
there was a 6% difference.
Hold on. But didn't you guys?
They didn't sign Saquon in the middle of the season.
No,
they didn't sign Saquon to be a pass-first offense. They signed Saquon because of what happened in 23 when they realized they couldn't be a pass-first offense.
That's what I'm saying.
No. You said they signed Saquon and then turned into a running team midway through the season. No. My point is that their formula for success, I don't care what they want to do. Yeah, they paid 2 receivers $30 million. That's on them.
But that's why I'm saying...
that's on them. What I'm saying is their formula for success has always been lead with the running game.
Yes.
That's where they've had their success.
I agree with that.
And it's not happening this year, and that is the biggest problem with this offense, is the running game.
Yes, I agree the running game has been terrible this year. But the
biggest problem?
Yeah, but the biggest problem is they can't pass it consistently, so they have to be a running team. And then when the running doesn't work, they don't have passing to lean on. Like you just said, in 23, they tried to be a pass-first team, didn't work, so they went to the running game. And you've said, and I think it's fair, that they came out in 2024 wanting to pass the ball, didn't work, so they switched to a running game, right? So I agree this team's best path to winning over the past 2.5 years, whatever you want to say.
3 years.
Yeah, has been running. I agree with you, but I'm saying that's only like that because they can't pass the ball consistently, so they have to go to the running game.
Regardless, my point is that this is the team, this is the personnel. If they run the ball well, they're not even running the ball decently. If they run the ball as a top 10 running team, this would be a much smoother offense. They'd be in much more advantageous second down, third down, stay ahead of the sticks, push on third, all that boring football we watched, and everybody wanted to throw the ball. They won by running the football.
But if they were a top 10 passing offense, they'd be in way better shape,
When have they ever been a top 10 passing offense?
I agree. They've not been, but I'm saying the fact they can't do it is the problem. The running game has carried them. The running game has done its part for the past 3 years.
The running game has carried them when?
Last year.
What about this year?
I'm saying this year they needed the passing game to step up, and it hasn't done it.
You're telling me Jalen's the biggest issue?
Yes, because the passing game.
The defense has won 2 games, maybe. 2 games.
Yeah.
I'll give 1 to the special teams. The block, punt, field goal, all that stuff. I'll get the other 5 to Jalen.
So I'd give the Vikings game to Jalen. I would give the Cowboys game to Jalen. The Giants one, I probably give to Jalen.
Tampa.
Yeah, Tampa's debate. Tampa, you might be right about that. But I'm just saying, like, yes, he has the most to do in wins. He's the quarterback. But I also think
he's been the biggest
I think he's the
problem.
biggest reason they lost last week.
That's fine. I'm saying the biggest issue with this team this year has been the inability to run the football.
But that
Jalen is nowhere near the biggest problem with this
But
offense.
that issue with the running game is only highlighted because they can't pass it. If they could pass the ball,
They
the
pass
lack
the
of
same way
running
they
game.
always pass.
Right, but they've had to do
What if I told you he's passing for more yards per game this year than he did last year? What if I told you he's already on pace? My bad. He's already passed. Didn't he pass more touchdowns already this year
Probably. He only had like 15
than
or
he
16
did last year?
Yeah.
So,
right.
yeah.
But we know the passing game hasn't been good. Like, the offense has been terrible all over.
No, what I'm saying is it's better than it was last year when they won the Super Bowl.
Marginally. But last year it wasn't great.
I agree.
Yeah, exactly. So it's been better by a little bit. I would agree with that.
All right.
Whew. It's the running game.
It's the
The
passing
running game is the biggest issue with this team.
Only because they can't pass the ball. I agree with you. They normally lean on the run because they can't pass it.
We got to take a break.
Because all the numbers say I know I'm right. All the numbers say it.
All right, that's it. I'm calling it. He gets last word. 215-592-9494.
I'll take the L of the 2022.
No. Turn off this mic. Ike, do you want to say something real quick? Okay.
Nope.
All right. Your NFC power rankings thing, is that new? I don't think I've seen that before online.
I've just started doing it again. I did it last year, but there's so many of my other graphics were doing well. I stepped away from it, but I brought it back.
So your NFC, Eliot's power rankings in the NFC right this second.
Yeah, right now.
Right now. Number 1, the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yep.
Well, give us you got all 5 of them?
In my head, I think I do.
Okay.
Number 2 was the Los Angeles Rams. Number 3 was the Detroit Lions. Number 4 was the Chicago Bears. And number 5, I believe, were the Tampa Bay Bucks. Or the Seattle Seahawks, number 5.
So Eagles, Rams, Lions, Bears, Seahawks.
How do you like that? I remembered it. So I don't even have that in front of me.
That was
it was
good.
so
I thought you
burned
had
in
it
my
up,
brain.
yeah.
And the reasoning being, the Eagles are ahead of the Rams because the Eagles beat the Rams.
Correct.
But the Bears, who have a better record than the Eagles and beat the Eagles, are 4th. So you, as somebody who watches the Eagles every week,
Yeah.
and I imagine you see some of the Rams, you see some of these other teams.
The Eagles are not playing like the best team in the NFC right now.
Well, then how are they number 1 in your power ranking?
Because I think in a playoff game, the Eagles would beat the Bears. And I think in a playoff game, the Eagles would beat the Rams. So that's
away?
I think away, yeah. I do. I mean, I think it'd be tougher. The Rams are the one team I'm most afraid of in the NFC because they don't make mistakes that the Eagles make, and that would be a fear of mine. I agree. But I also think, let's not act like the Rams are 12-1. They have 1 fewer loss than the Eagles do, and they lost to the Eagles, right? So the Rams are good for sure. The Rams are not special. The Rams are not some, once every 3
They're also not, like, spiraling.
No, but they did just lose to the Panthers.
Yeah, but did you see that game?
Well, the Bears are better than the Panthers.
No. Hold on.
Do you think the Panthers are better than the Bears?
The Panthers are not a bad football team.
No, they're not bad, but the Bears are better than the Panthers.
But hold on. Did you see the Rams-Panthers game?
No, I mean, I saw most of it.
Not.
I saw a lot of it on Red Zone.
I mean, they had 3 turnovers, but they also moved the ball up and down the field. They scored.
Well, the 3 turnovers seem to have mattered quite a bit.
They did, but they didn't get like embarrassed by the Panthers.
Well, yeah, because the Panthers aren't that good. The Bears are better than the Panthers. Of course,
but they
the Eagles are good.
embarrassed the Eagles.
Yes, because the Bears are better. And this is not a defense of how the Eagles
The Rams
are
are the number 1 team in the NFC right
They're
now.
not.
It's not
I don't
debatable.
think they are. Why?
It's not debatable because they're better than the Eagles.
Well, then why didn't they beat the Eagles?
Because they lost to them.
Why didn't they beat them twice last year?
Are the Eagles better than the Giants?
Yes.
They lost to them, didn't they?
But they also beat them.
Are the Eagles better than the Bears?
I think they are.
They lost to them, didn't they?
Right. But
are the Eagles better than the Broncos?
I think yes.
Okay, but they lost to him, didn't they?
Okay, I'm just saying. I'm not saying it's the end all be all, but you act like the Rams are like heads and toes above the Eagles.
They have the best coach in the NFL. They have.
I don't think that's true. Number 1,
who's better than Sean McVay?
I think Andy Reid's a better head coach than Sean McVay.
Okay, so he's the second best coach.
And
in
I think
the
Nick
NFL.
Sirianni's a better head coach than Sean.
Oh,
dude, then why does he beat him every time?
Who cares?
And he just won the Super Bowl last year. Andy wins a higher percentage of games.
And
he's been to the Super Bowl the same amount of times as McVay. He's won it the same amount of times as McVay.
Yes.
He wins a higher percentage during the regular season.
And McVay is also the offensive coordinator, so they don't have to go through this S show every year about who the coordinator is.
Well, Nick is the true offensive coordinator. I mean, it's his offense they run.
Okay, well, their offense sucks,
but
Eliot.
it's been good enough to win a lot of games.
Well, but it's not that good.
I agree, but it's good enough to beat McVay. It is. What do you want me to say? He beat me.
He didn't play McVay.
But he beats McVay's team every time they play. He does.
He's not a better head coach than Sean McVay. He's not.
I think McVay's an awesome head coach. I think he's a great head coach.
How many general managers across the NFL? Let's take out let's actually include every general manager, 32 teams in the NFL. They're given a choice. You have a choice. You can have Sean McVay as your head coach or Nick Sirianni as your head coach. Of the 32 teams, including the Eagles, how many people select Nick Sirianni over Sean McVay?
Probably 31 do. I think the Eagles would take Nick because they have a good thing right now and he gets along with
because Howie doesn't want a smart head coach.
No, because it works. It works with Howie and Nick. Well, but regardless,
I like Nick too, but it works with Sean McVay too.
Maybe until McVay wants personnel control. It seems like he has a lot of personnel control there.
Well, it's worked out for him.
Yeah,
right. So it works in different places. I'm not saying McVay is like overrated or anything. I'm saying Nick has a better resume than Sean McVay.
Okay, but that doesn't make him a better head coach. And you just said, Eliot, okay, who has a better?
He's also playing in a tougher division.
Oh, sure, yes. But you just said 31 general managers would pick Sean McVay. So how in the world?
Well, I'm not saying that's the right choice.
You're saying all 31 of 32 general managers are wrong?
I think the perception around Nick is that he doesn't do much and that, it's all Howie and the roster. So I think most teams would. And again, McVay is a great coach. But to act like Nick is not, I'm not saying you are, but it is very close. It's not like some...
No, it's not.
Then why does he have a better resume over the last 5 years?
Because he's had a better roster.
What, the Rams have an outstanding roster.
And they won a Super Bowl.
And so did the Eagles with their outstanding roster.
Dude, Eliot, he's a better head coach.
I think he's a better offensive mind. I think there's that argument. But that's not being a head coach. That is part of being a head coach.
Well, he's also the head coach.
Right, and Nick's the head coach, and he wins more than McVay does.
And twice now, Nick had... How many collapses does Sean McVay have on his resume?
Probably none.
0.
Okay.
And Nick has at least 1 and might even have 2.
And if that happens, I will agree. If they collapse again, then I'll have to reevaluate things. But right now, I don't think McVay is a better head coach.
You're out of your mind.
I just don't see how you can ignore the resume. The resume is the best.
Are the Eagles the best team in the NFC?
No.
Okay.
That's what I want to
But can I ask you why? Yeah. Why are they not?
Because they have okay, I'm sorry.
No, I don't even know if it's self-explanatory. If we actually felt like this was the best team in the NFL, the NFC, do you think this city would be in an uproar right now like they are? You think the players would be unhappy with everything if they were truly the best team in the NFC?
Right. So I don't think they are playing like the best team in the NFC, right? I think that their resume, I think you lean on that, right? They only have 1 fewer loss than every other team in the division or the conference, so they're right there with them. Mm-hmm. They have had a tougher schedule than every other team in the NFL. So recently, not playing well the last few games, I give them. But they're not going to have as good a numbers or look as good when they're playing way tougher opponents than other teams are. You look at who Seattle's played. Seattle's lost to every good team they've played. Yep. They've lost to the Niners. They've lost to
Tampa
and the Rams. Yep. All the games they've won, all this Seattle's better than the Eagles. Seattle's beat trash teams all year, and the only times they've played good teams, Sam Darnold's been awful. So I would absolutely take the Eagles over Seattle.
Well, listen, I hear you there. I'm not. I just wouldn't have the Eagles over the Rams.
Let me ask you this: to do the GM's thing, right?
Yeah.
Do you think?
Are we back on that?
No, I'm just okay. Do you think more teams would rather go to LA to play the Rams or go to Philadelphia and face the Eagles in the playoffs?
LA.
I think they'd rather go to LA.
Yeah.
That's my point. Yeah. So that's why I would put the Eagles ahead of the Rams.
Because of
I don't think a team would have. Situation. I don't think the Eagles are playing well right now. I think the team no one would want to play is the Eagles in Philadelphia.
I actually disagree with you.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, because they all hate each other. Their offense sucks, and their defense just got trampled.
Yeah.
Let's call a spade a spade. They're 8-4. They have a horrible offense. Their defense has been great for 2 games. And in those 2 games, when this entire city made an excuse for the Eagles offense being bad because of the wind and the cold, the exact same team that we are talking about dominating defensively was playing a team in the wind and the cold. They've dominated twice. They are a good defense. No doubt. They're a good defense. They're not a great defense, and they're a horrible offense. So, they don't do anything great. Nothing. Not one thing do they do great. Not one.
Well, that's not true.
What do they do great?
They take care of the ball. They do. I mean, again, you gloss over it like it's nothing. You go like the Rams. Well, they turned it over 3 times, but outside of that, they were moving the ball up and down the field. Well, obviously, one thing matters more than the other. They moved the ball up and down the field. They lost.
And you know what the Rams can do? If they happen to turn the ball over 3 times, they can also win.
So why did they lose last week?
But they almost won the game.
But they didn't win the game.
Elliot, the point is...
Didn't the Eagles win the turnover battle against the Rams when they beat them earlier in the year?
The point is, Elliot, is that the Eagles have no ability to win a football game if they turn the ball over 3 times. And they can't control...
apparently neither the Rams do.
You can control turnovers. No, they lost a game when they did. It doesn't mean they don't have the ability to do so.
So the Eagles don't, but the Rams do, is what you're saying. You
think correct. Because they can't score.
Have you looked up the Rams record when they lose the turnover battle? I would guess it's not great.
I would guess it's better than the Eagles.
Maybe, but I would know. But again, the Eagles have put together. I agree, their offense is not as good as the Rams. 100%.
I was gonna say you would agree that
that's not even on the same planet.
All right, fine. How about it's twice as good?
Yes,
3 times as good. 5 times. It is way better.
Okay.
Right? The Eagles make way more mistakes than the Rams. They've been penalized almost twice as much.
Yeah,
they got 1 fewer win. And they beat them. So while I agree they're not playing well, and the Rams are not a class above the Eagles. And the Eagles just won the Super Bowl
last year.
And
they beat them 10 weeks ago? And
they beat them twice last year.
And you know what? The Eagles beat Dallas the opening week and then just got embarrassed by Dallas.
I agree. But
it was a long time ago.
Yes, I agree, but it was still the only matchup we've seen between the two.
They are not a better team than the Rams.
The Rams are playing better right now. I agree, but the Eagles are the better team.
What do they do really well?
Again,
turnovers is not a thing you do.
It is a thing, though. You can not acknowledge it, but it is something that you do.
What else?
Not much else.
Okay, thank you.
I don't know what to say. But again, despite not being good at anything, they probably have the best resume of any team in the NFL.
Who cares about resume?
Well, what do you mean? Who cares about resume?
How are they playing?
They're not playing
4-4 in their last 8 games.
How are the Rams playing?
The Rams are on an unbelievable streak. They lost a game.
They lost last week, right?
Congratulations.
Okay, but the
you
Eagles
still say they're playing better football.
Who's beaten better teams this year?
I don't care.
The Eagles have. Well, how do you not care?
Dude, first of all, the Rams should have won that game if the Eagles didn't block 2 kicks.
But they didn't. But they didn't win the game.
But it doesn't matter.
The Eagles beat a 6-6 Chiefs. Right?
Okay. Well, we're not. You're going to go and just diminish all the losses, but the Chiefs is obviously a quality win. Do the Rams have a win as good as the Chiefs win? I have to go and look.
Well, they beat the Niners. Niners are a better team than the Chiefs.
No. Honestly, you think the Niners?
Good.
No. You think the Niners are better than the Chiefs? You actually think that?
No.
If
I'm
you
saying,
were a team, would you rather go to Kansas City or San Francisco?
You asked me if they had what are their quality wins. The
fine.
San Francisco 49ers are 9-4.
Okay, so there's one quality win.
Beat Tampa 34-7.
All right, 2.
They beat the Colts.
It's a good win.
Okay, there, done.
3. Okay, now let's go over
the
the
Jags 35-7.
The Jags are not a quality.
The Jags are 8-4.
Okay, I don't think they're a quality.
Wait, hold on. The Jags have the same record as the Eagles and a better point differential than the Eagles.
And you think the
They
Jags?
just know how to win.
You think the Jags are a quality team? You actually think the
win.
Jags are a quality team? You actually think
they're 8-4?
No. That's what I'm asking. I'm saying, do you think they are a quality team? You think going to Jacksonville, beating the Jags, is a quality win?
They are 8-4.
So obviously you don't. So that one doesn't count. So I'm saying you look at the Eagles wins.
Okay.
The Chiefs in week 2 is a quality win. That's a quality win. Tampa Bay, we agree, is a quality win. The Rams, who are apparently like the best version since the greatest show on turf, they beat them. That's a quality win.
Yes.
Right? They have quality wins.
But the Rams have more.
But the Cowboys in your top 5.
The Cowboys is a quality win. The Cowboys are the hottest team in the NFL right now.
Yes, but they beat them in week 1.
They still beat them.
Wake up!
I'm saying they beat them. At the time, it was absolutely quality.
There's no way on God's green earth you think the Eagles are the best team in the NFC.
I've been telling you this for the past
20 minutes.
You don't even think they're good, Elliot.
Again, they're not playing well right now. I agree with you. I agree. But despite that, they are right there with every other team in the conference. They've beaten almost every good team in the conference. And again, like the resume of last year does matter to me. That's why I have the Lions ahead of the Bears.
Get the lie detector guy in here.
Get him in here
right now.
He didn't beat me before. He can't beat me yet.
News.
Is this real or is he kidding?
No, well,
it is real.
It's Eagles related.
Oh, this is not good breaking news.
The Steelers have released cornerback Darius Slay, making him a free agent.
Let's get Slay back here.
Well, there it is. Bargain bin USA, Philadelphia. Who else can't play are we going to sign or trade for this year?
And retires.
Bad PFF grade this year.
Yeah, he's had a horrible year.
Nobody wants to play out there.
Yeah, with Mike Tomlin.
Agreed. Yeah. I would bring him back.
Bring him back home. I got to put out my tweet.
I can't wait to see what GIF you go with.
Elliot, on the Patullo thing, is there any chance they switch play callers?
Yeah, I think there's a chance.
Really?
It wouldn't even shock me. honestly, if they had already switched play callers.
Really?
My Nick radar, I felt like yesterday he was not. He said yes.
We replayed it.
Yes, but I remember what he was like when they moved on from Patricia. They had Patricia do the media availability. I don't think internally they blame Patullo, to be clear.
Yeah.
But it would not shock me if they make a change simply just to try something new. Because they're not. I don't know what other change you make.
So does it just end up being Nick?
That's a great question. Like there's Scott Loeffler, there's Parks Frazier who called plays in Indianapolis.
Who?
Parks Frazier.
Is he the pass
Eliot
game
Shorr-Parks
coordinator?
Frazier?
Yeah, exactly. He's a young. I believe he called plays when Jeff Saturday was the head coach for like
that
7
went
or
well.
8 games.
So
Yeah, I mean, sticking with Patullo is obviously the best move. Also, if they wanted to sell continuity coming into the year, I think bailing on continuity now is not a good idea.
Well, I also think if they truly don't believe it's his fault, I just have a hard time believing that they will pull play calling from him, then get to this offseason, then reinstall him as the play caller.
I agree.
It is such a weird position to be in if that were to be the case.
I would prepare everyone for this. If he finishes the year as play caller, depending how it goes, I think they would rather have him come back next year as the play caller. Because all I hear is, Jalen's had 9 play callers in 9 years. And
oh, yeah, you got to bring him back.
yeah, like there is a real benefit to bringing Patullo back next year as the play caller. In terms of he'd have a full year on the job, he'd have a full year with Jalen, they'd get a full offseason together.
How do you think this season has to end for that to happen?
Let's say to stay?
Yeah, let's say he stays as the play caller. Like if they end up 10-7 or 11-6 and they lose in the first round, my intuition would tell me Howie would go to Nick's office, say, "We gave you a guy, it didn't work. I am going to go pick a guy like I did last offseason, and it's going to be an established play caller, and you're going to deal with it."
So my only thing is, I don't think, and I don't know this, but I don't think Howie would sit down and say it didn't work because of Patullo. Now, you could argue it didn't work,
yes,
and so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But to your point, I don't think they believe the problem is the play calling.
Which is why I don't think that. Which is why I think it's different. Which is why I think it is dangerous to pull it from Patullo.
Yes, I agree. Now, here's a question: better chance Patullo's fired or he's a head coach next year?
A head coach?
Yeah,
head coach next year.
If they get to the Super Bowl, he will get head coach interviews.
Based on what?
Based on the fact he's been the right-hand man for the best head coach or like one of the best teams in the NFL for the past 4 years. What? I mean, the Giants would be fools not to interview Patullo.
The Giants?
Yes.
We're going to waste the Giants. Come on, man.
Listen, I don't think Patullo's done a good job this year, but I'm saying the difference of a head.
But a head coaching job, man. What has he done to have a
He's
head
been
coaching
in the
job?
organization that's been one of the best in the NFL for the past 4 years. Like to get that into another organization, I think would be. Put it this way: if we were a Giant station, I would advocate for hiring Patullo, the offensive coordinator of what has been a team that has been one of the best in the NFL. He's the right-hand man. Nick says himself he's there for every decision he makes. Just being honest.
I can tell you right now, having an eye on WFAN, I don't think anybody's mentioned Kevin Patullo yet.
Well, I'll tell you this right now. I don't think the Giants know what they're doing, so they might not be talking about Patullo.
I'm talking
Patullo would be a smart hire for them.
Okay.
I'm just being honest, and I've said this weeks ago, so this isn't like a...
Again, based on
the fact that he's been the right-hand man of arguably the best head coach in the... I agree, but none of us believe he's the problem in the offense. None of us think it. You don't think when he's in a head...
None of us? What are you talking about?
Well, I'm saying, you think when he's in a head coach interview, he's going to be like, "Oh, man, I shouldn't have just run hitch routes"? Like, of course he's going to show the tape and be like...
He's going to blame it all on
Of course he is, yes. So when he sits in the meeting, they talk X and O's. I'm sure he's going to have great answers at. But he's also going to be able to be like, "I was around the culture of the Eagles. I saw how they ran things. I've won."
You asked what's more likely. What's more likely is he gets fired.
You think so?
Well, because I think the odds of the Eagles winning the Super Bowl are...
What if they go?
Pretty slim. Even if they go,
I
also think that's that. I think that's slim.
Oh my God!
I can't even get it out.
Come on, I was yelling really loud at him. Give me a break.
So where would you have the Eagles in the NFC?
I would have the Rams as better. I would have the. I would have the Seahawks.
Not a great
as better.
The Seahawks. Get
I would
out
have the
of
Seahawks.
No.
The Seahawks have the best defense in the NFL
because they play trash quarterbacks every week. Look at their schedule.
They still have the best
That
defense
dude
in the
they just played
NFL.
this week was, I don't know where the hell that quarterback came from.
Oh,
It was like the fourth straight
Vikings.
Vikings.
Yeah.
Now they did dominate them. To be fair,
They did.
And
They're not number one, but he's not far off. I certainly would have him lower.
And
I
right
wouldn't
now,
have him lower than 3. I would have him behind the
And right
Rams.
now, if they play the Bears in Chicago, they're going to lose.
the Seahawks.
The
You're saying, or the Eagles?
will lose if they have to play them in Chicago.
I agree if they played them like next week in Chicago. I think in a playoff game that's different. The Bears have no playoff experience, and I think the Eagles' playoff experience would matter.
Well, the Eagles had playoffs experience when they got blown out in Tampa in 23.
Agreed.
So.
Agreed. Now the Bucks also had playoff experience. The Bears had none.
Yeah, for
the Bears
sure.
have none.
Yeah. All right.
Now,
What an hour.
It will be cold in Chicago, I'll say that.
And probably windy.
Yeah, probably windy.
Yeah,
So
don't get this team with some wind. Everything falls apart.
Look, I'm not on team wind. I think that's a weak excuse.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't like weather. You never catch me defending
I just want
weather.
to know everybody's out on Slay.
No, I would sign
I'd say
Slay.
Slay.
Okay, I'm
just keep throwing guys out there.
totally in on Slay.
Yeah.
Good culture
You
guy,
see
too.
what we have out
No,
there?
that's what I'm saying. Just keep throwing guys out there till something works.
Now,
What
when-
are we on, our 7th cornerback?
Better chance that he ends the season with the Eagles or retires after 2 weeks.
No, if he came
comes
back,
back and he's like, never mind. Yeah.
Dude, if we have 3 retirees in 1 year,
We need Zaire. Wait, I'm sorry. What was his name?
Zadarius
Zadarius
Smith.
Zadarius Smith and Jair Alexander. We need them on this show.
Yeah, podcast.
What did you
Yeah.
know? What did you know?
They actually left and I haven't heard anything.
No, not one
anything
word.
from either one of them.
Not one word.
You think they cut Slay because he wanted to go play elsewhere?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think so too.
yeah. I think
Probably.
once you're a healthy scratch and you're a vet like
then
him,
they'll let you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like, dude.
I think there's a
Save me-
60% chance he signs with the Eagles.
Yeah.
Save me
They
the
can start
embarrassment.
practicing this
Go ahead
week.
and
He's
let me
gotta-
go.
Does he have to go through waivers?
he does have to go through
Yes.
waivers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
All
he
right.
does.
No one's going to claim him, though. I mean, I'd be surprised.
Yeah.
There's not a
Not
lot
many
of
players get claimed at this point. He's
Yeah.
a veteran. He'd probably be like, I don't want to go there.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. You can get the Go Birds podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Who is your special guest on ESPN tomorrow night?
Zach Berman. of The
Oh,
Athletic
really?
Finally
Ooh,
locked him
Zeke
down.
Oh,
yeah.
wow. How it must have been
Oh,
tough.
that's
I
tonight?
know. No, it's tomorrow.
Tomorrow
tomorrow.
night.
Yeah.
Tomorrow night, yeah.
It does feel like a Wednesday. I agree.
I thought you moved the day. I was like,
Oh,
Larry,
nah,
what's going on
nah,
tomorrow?
Well, I guess it's actually definitely a Tuesday because I'm here.
All right.
Yeah.
We've only been doing it for 4 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you have a convo with him about how long his tweets are? They're too long.
I will. I'll bring it up if
Okay.
you'd like. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. I've already addressed it online with him, but
Oh, have you? I'll have to go check that out.
I said
You
his
should have done a really long one.
his nickname should be Seymour because for every tweet you have to
Good.
Seymour. All right, you can get the Go Birds podcast wherever you get your podcasts. You get Go Birds Daily every single day. You get more of why the Eagles are the best team in the NFC when we're all mad at them. That is Eliot Shorr-Parks.